Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling a high-stakes arena that honestly absolutely everyone listening right now knows intimately well. We're talking about the sudden, intense heat of social conflicts. Specifically, we're going to explore a truly brilliant, life-changing framework developed by author Paula Williams in her book, The Drama-Free Guide to Life. And what's great is that this is perfectly tailored for young adults. You know, you're constantly navigating those intense pressure cooker moments of conflict, communication, and just trying to maintain your self-respect without completely burning your bridges. So let's get right into it. So have you ever sent a text you instantly regretted? Seriously, picture this scenario. You're staring down at your phone. You're in this incredibly tense group chat with your friends. And there they are. You see those three little gray dots, the typing bubble. Your heart just drops right into your stomach. You read the message that pops up and it feels like a totally unfair direct attack. Immediately, like split second immediately, you feel this overwhelming, desperate urge to fire back. You want to defend yourself right then and there, maybe throw a little shade back just to even the score. Look, we have all been there. It's a completely universal experience of young adulthood trying to navigate these ridiculously complex social dynamics through a glowing screen. But acting on that immediate urge, yeah, that is exactly where things usually go terribly wrong. And here is exactly why that happens. When emotions take over, good decisions usually disappear entirely. Let's call this Path A. You read that inflammatory text, you get mad, your thumbs start flying across the screen, and boom, you hit send without even a second thought. And before you even fully realize what's happening, the whole argument escalates way, way faster than you ever expected. Suddenly, what was just a minor disagreement about weekend plans or maybe a totally misunderstood joke has mutated into a massive friendship-threatening conflict. So why does this happen so incredibly fast? It's because your emotions have completely hijacked your brain's decision-making process. The logic center of your brain effectively shuts down, and pure, unfiltered, reactive feeling just takes the wheel. It's literally like a runaway train moving at top speed. To stop that runaway train, we actually need to ground this abstract concept of losing control into bodily reality. You can actually feel this emotional hijack happening in real time. Suddenly, you've got a racing heartbeat thumping loudly in your ears. Your fists clench up. You might notice shallowed, really rapid breathing. You could feel this tight, heavy weight in your chest, or maybe a flushed, hot feeling just washing over your face. And here's the thing. These are not just random sensations. They are your body's early warning system, absolutely screaming at you that your emotions are peaking. Recognizing these specific physical signs in yourself is the very first absolutely critical step in stopping that runaway train before it crashes into your social life. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it breaks down that exact heated moment. We're faced with two very different paths. On one side, we have the immediate reaction. This is what happens when you just ignore all those physical warning signs we just talked about. A reaction is immediate, it's entirely thoughtless, and it is exactly how most conflicts explode into something much bigger and messier than they ever needed to be. But then, we have the other path, the intentional response. A response is deliberate. It actually requires a gap. It's essentially the fundamental difference between blindly swinging in the dark and taking a moment to turn on the light so you can actually see where you're walking. So, how do we get from a messy reaction to a clean response? Let's introduce Path B. We're going to rewind the clock to the exact moment you saw that frustrating text. You feel your chest get tight, but instead of typing, you deploy the intentional pause. This pause is an incredibly flexible tool, and it scales based entirely on the severity of the conflict. Sometimes, just taking a deep breath and stepping back for 10 seconds is totally enough to clear your head. If it's a bigger, louder argument, maybe you need to physically walk away for 10 minutes. And for those really deeply hurtful, highly complex situations, the pause might need to last a full day. You just put the phone down, you close the laptop, and you step completely away from the arena. Paula Williams frames this so beautifully in her book. She writes, "Learning to pause doesn't mean becoming weak. It means gaining control." And guys, this is a massive perspective shift. So often in social conflicts, especially when we're young and really just trying to establish our identities, we feel like backing away or staying silent means we're losing the fight, right? Or letting someone walk all over us. But taking a pause isn't backing down. It is a superpower. Strong people know how to stop long enough to actually decide what kind of person they want to be in a really difficult moment. And this brilliantly illustrates our main takeaway. The space between feeling and action is what saves friendships. Mastering that small, quiet window of time, that crucial gap between feeling the intense heat of anger and actually taking an action, it does so much more than just prevent a temporary fight. It literally preserves your self-respect. It protects your valuable relationships from permanent damage over temporary feelings. Honestly, it even safeguards your reputation and your opportunities in school or early career settings. By pausing, you are essentially creating this buffer of safety and intelligence around your life, allowing you to navigate drama without becoming totally consumed by it. So, the crucial point is figuring out how to turn this abstract concept into a practical daily habit. To do that, ask yourself this one question. What physical signs tell me I'm becoming angry? Because before the next conflict happens, and let's be honest, life is complicated, it is going to happen eventually, you need to identify your personal emotional triggers. Do the tips of your ears get hot? Does your stomach immediately tie up into knots? Maybe your shoulders tense all the way up to your ears. Figuring out your unique physical alarms is exactly how you know when it's time to hit that pause button. I want you to think back on your own life for a second. Can you identify a situation where you really wish you had paused first? I mean, we all have at least one, right? Think deeply about how differently that situation might have played out if you had utilized your superpower, if you had just taken 10 seconds, 10 minutes, or even a full day before responding. Use that memory right now, not to beat yourself up, but as powerful fuel to master the intentional pause moving forward. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. And remember, always look for that space between feeling and action.